Hello students, in last class we already discussed about some numerical based upon the force, magnetic force acting on an current carrying wire present in an external uniform magnetic field. Okay, and today we are going to discuss about some numericals based upon torque acting on a current carrying loop present in an external magnetic field and the relation between magnetic dipole moment and angular momentum of a body or the Bohr magneton. Clear? So first of all, let's revise the concept of torque. So we already studied that if there is a external uniform magnetic field present along the horizontal direction from left to right of strength B, and there is an current carrying coil is present which have width B and length L and carry current in clockwise direction of value I. Then we know the value of torque tau equal to B I N A cos theta, where theta is the angle between magnetic field direction and plane of the coil and N is the number of turns of the coil, or this can also be written as B I N A sin alpha, where alpha is the angle between area vector of the coil and magnetic field direction. This is a scalar form, and in vector form we can write tau equal to M vector cross B vector, where M vector is known as magnetic dipole moment of the current carrying coil, which is given as M vector equal to I A vector into N. Sorry, this can be written as N I A vector. What is N? Number of turns of the coil. I is the current flowing through the coil, and area vector is A vector, gives us the magnetic dipole moment of a coil. We already discussed about it, that a current carrying coil can act as a magnetic dipole having dipole moment this much. Clear? So this is the torque acting on a current carrying coil present in an external uniform magnetic field. Just remind, this expression is just same as that of we studied about in the classical magnetism, that is when there is an external magnetic field in horizontal direction of strength B and we placed a magnetic dipole or bar magnet within this plane of length 2L. This is the north pole, this is the south pole, or this is south pole, this is north pole, having pole strength both same M. Then the dipole moment direction is from south to north along this direction, and if this M vector makes an angle theta with the direction of B, we already discussed the tau equal to MB sin theta, or this can be written as M vector cross B vector equal to tau, which is same to this relation. Here the magnetic dipole moment will be how much? M, the pole strength of the either pole, into the separation between both the pole or length of the bar magnet. Clear? Here the dipole moment is M into length of the bar magnet. Here the magnetic dipole moment is N, number of turns, into current flowing through the coil into area vector. But the torque acting on both the cases are same. So now we can relate this current carrying loop present in an external magnetic field with a bar magnet present in an external magnetic field, because these are the relation for their torque acting on the current carrying loop and on a bar magnet. Clear? Where but the difference is that here the magnetic dipole moment is NIA vector and here the magnetic dipole moment is M into 2L vector, and the direction of dipole moment is from south to north along this direction, and here the direction of dipole moment will be obtained by the direction of current flowing through the coil. If I am crawling my fingers of the right hand along the direction of current, then the thumb will show us or gives us the direction of magnetic dipole moment. Clear? Because when I am crawling my finger along this direction, so the magnetic field lines will goes like this around this. If this is a coil, current flowing here like this, I am crawling my finger along this direction, so lines of magnetic field lines will go into the plane and comes out. So if they are going into the plane, so the back side of this coil will behave as what? North pole, because from north pole lines of force are starting and ending at south pole. The upper portion of the coil will behave as south pole and the back portion behave as north pole. So the dipole moment is south to north, so it will be into the plane. Clear? So in current carrying coil, the dipole moment is this much and its direction can be obtained by the direction of current. By crawling the finger along the direction of current, the thumb will show the direction of dipole moment. Clear? And here in case of bar magnet, the dipole moment is m into 2L vector, which direction is from south pole to north pole, but the torque acting on these two will be in the same expression. Clear? So now as we already studied in case of a bar magnet, if in an external magnetic field from north to south, a bar magnet is present here at any position. This is south, this is north, and the dipole moment is along this direction, m vector, which makes an angle along this b vector theta with the b vector. So torque acting on it, tau is equal to m cross b vector. M is along this direction, b is along this direction. So m cross b, torque will be into the plane. That's why the bar magnet starts to rotate along this direction. Clear? So here at the position, the torque acting on it will be tau equal to mb sin theta, which want to rotate the dipole along this direction. If I want to rotate this further along this direction by a very small angle delta theta, like this angle is delta theta. So I have to apply an external torque which is opposite to this direction, because this is the torque applied on this dipole by the external magnetic field, which want to turn this dipole along clockwise direction. But I want to rotate the dipole in anti-clockwise direction to a new place by a small angular displacement d theta. That's why I have to apply an external torque along this direction, which is same as that of magnitude of this one, but in opposite direction. That means we have to apply a torque in clockwise anti-clockwise direction. Here the torque is in clockwise direction, which is inward. I want to apply a torque in anti-clockwise direction, which will be outward, because I am trying to rotate the dipole in anti-clockwise direction. So the dW amount of work done by rotating this dipole d theta will be how much? Tau d theta cos the direction of torque is outward, direction of angular displacement is outward, so 0. So it will become how much? m b sin theta d theta equal to dW. So total amount of work done by rotating this dipole from theta 1 to theta 2, any place theta 1 to any further place theta 2 will be how much by integrating this from theta 1 to theta 2 from 0 to W. We already discussed about it in the classical magnetism. So the total work done W equal to mb, taking out of the integration sin theta d theta, integration only minus cos theta from theta 1 to theta 2. This implies taking minus outside, it will be minus mb cos theta 2 minus cos theta 1. This is the work done, or this can be written as. So this implies the work done by rotating a dipole in an external magnetic field is mb cos theta 1 minus cos theta 2, where theta 1 and theta 2 are the angle between magnetic dipole moment and external magnetic field vector in initial and final position. Clear? We already discussed about it. This is the amount of work done between by rotating a dipole in an external magnetic field, where theta 1 is the initial angle between m vector and b vector, and theta 2 is the final angle between m vector and b vector. If we relate this thing with this one, that means there is a current carrying coil. We replace the bar magnet with a current carrying coil on which a torque is acting due to the external magnetic field, that is M cross B, and we want to rotate it from theta 1 to theta 2. The magnitude of M we know, its direction we can be calculated. I already told you that by crawling the finger along the direction of current, the thumb will show the direction of M, and B already given to us. So we can calculate the torque by replacing the dipole with a current carrying loop. So what will be the work done become the same expression for a current carrying loop. If we replace this bar magnet with a current carrying loop, the derivation will be same as that of here, and the work done will be how much? W equal to again MB. M is the magnetic dipole moment of the current carrying coil, B is the external magnetic field strength into cos theta 1 minus cos theta 2, where theta 1 and theta 2 are the angle between M vector, magnetic dipole moment of the coil, and the external magnetic field at initial and final position. Clear? Okay, this is the work done when we want to rotate a current carrying loop in an external magnetic field. If theta 1 is the angle between magnetic dipole moment of the coil and magnetic field strength initially, and theta 2 is the angle between the final position up to which we want to rotate this. Clear? Here but here the magnetic dipole moment M equal to how much? I into A. We already studied that the dipole moment of a current carrying loop is current flowing through it into cross sectional area of the loop. So this implies what will be the work done? W equal to, in place of M, I can add I into A into B into cos theta 1 minus cos theta 2, taking BA into the bracket, I into BA cos theta 1 minus BA cos theta 2. So this implies the work done will be equal to I into, what is BA cos theta 1 and what is BA cos theta 2? B is the magnetic field strength, A is the cross sectional area of the coil, and theta 1 is the angle between magnetic field and the area vector, and here same as theta 2 is the final angle between magnetic field and area vector, and this is the magnetic field strength and this is the cross sectional area. So this complete term will gives us what? The magnetic flux we already studied with the current carrying loop initially. So this can be taken as phi 1 minus phi 2. So this will be the work done in a current carrying loop present in an external magnetic field when we want to rotate it from theta 1 position to theta 2 position. Here phi 1 equal to initial flux linked with the coil, phi 2 equal to final flux linked with the coil. Okay, what is flux? Phi equal to here magnetic flux. Clear? Okay, so the work done will be the current flowing through the coil into initial flux minus final flux linked with the coil. You have to remember this formula, and this is also the expression for the work done for a current carrying loop present in an external magnetic field. Clear? And from this we can calculate the potential energy of a current carrying loop as in case of a bar magnet. What is the expression for potential energy? U equal to minus MB cos theta. What is theta? Theta is the angle between magnetic field strength and magnetic dipole moment of a bar magnet. Clear? Similarly here we can write the potential energy for a bar magnet is this much, where this is the direction of B, and here is a bar magnet, south and north. The magnetic dipole moment is along this direction M, and this angle is theta. So here the potential energy minus mb cos theta. Similarly, if we replace the bar magnet with a current carrying loop, the potential energy U equal to again minus mb cos theta. In place of m, we can write what? Minus m in place of I into a b cos theta. What is a b cos theta? Phi. So the potential energy will minus I into phi. So in case of a current carrying loop, the potential energy will be minus current flowing through the loop into the flux linked with the loop at that instant. Clear? And the potential energy will be minimum when cos theta is 90. The potential energy is 0. If theta equal to 90, the potential energy will be minus mb minimum when theta equal to 0, and potential energy is maximum when theta equal to 90. So from this, so we can write the potential energy of a current carrying coil present in an external uniform magnetic field is U equal to minus mb cos theta, where m equal to I into a. So this will be minus IAB cos theta. This implies U equal to minus I into phi, where phi equal to BA cos theta, and here theta equal to what? Angle between m vector and b vector. Clear? So if theta equal to 0, that means the angle between m vector and b vector is 0, that is m and b are parallel. The potential energy U equal to minus mb, that is minimum. If theta equal to 90, m and b are perpendicular, then U equal to 0. Okay, you have to remember these points. Next, if theta equal to 180, that means m and b are anti-parallel, then U equal to minus mb into what is cos 90. Here the expression for U minus mb, cos 180 will be minus 1 into minus 1, it is equal to mb. So U is mb when theta is 180, that is maximum. Clear? Here U equal to minus mb, theta is minimum, here U equal to 0, and here equal to mb maximum. So from these three cases, we conclude what? When theta equal to 0, potential energy is minimum, that means the coil is at stable equilibrium. Clear? As theta equal to 0, that means U equal to minus mb minimum. So when potential energy minimum, the coil is at stable equilibrium. That means if we disturb the coil from its position, it will again regain its initial position. Clear? And here U is maximum when theta is 180, that means potential energy is maximum, so the coil is in unstable equilibrium. So when theta is 180, the coil is at unstable equilibrium. That means when the magnetic dipole moment and external magnetic field direction are anti-parallel to each other. At that instant, the coil is in unstable equilibrium, and when theta is 0, both are parallel. That means the B direction, M direction are in parallel. The coil is in stable equilibrium. So in this case, if we disturb the coil, it will again regain its initial position. But in unstable equilibrium, if we disturb the coil, it permanently get disturbed from its initial position. Clear? And this is the expression for magnetic. This is the expression for magnetic potential energy stored in a current carrying loop present in a external magnetic field, or we can represent this as also this one. U equal to I into phi. What is phi? The flux linked with the coil at that instant. Clear? So this is how torque acting on a coil, and due to torque acting on a coil, what is the amount of work done by rotating the coil, and as we are applying some external torque to rotate the coil, then the work done we are applying on the coil will be stored within as potential energy, and what is the value of potential energy at different position we already discussed, and what is the stable equilibrium for a current carrying loop present in an external magnetic field, and what is the unstable position for a current carrying loop present in an external magnetic field we already discussed about. Clear? Understood? You have to remember all these relations. In potential energy, we can use this formula, I into flux minus I, current flowing through the loop, into the flux at that instant linked with the coil, or minus mb cos theta. Here theta is what? The angle between m vector and b vector. Clear? Angle between theta is the angle between m and v vector, and phi equal to ba cos theta, flux linked with the coil. Okay, you have to remember these two relations for the magnetic potential energy stored with the current carrying loop, and in case of work done, we have to remember the formula I already told, mb into cos theta 1 minus cos theta 2, or I into phi initial or phi 1 minus phi final. Clear? Okay, so now let's discuss some numericals. Example 1. Here is a magnetic field which is acting into the plane. And a current carrying coil carrying current I in clockwise direction, square coil of length and width both are A, present inside the magnetic field of strength B naught, which is acting into the plane, and it is uniform. So find the work done by taking out the current carrying coil from the magnetic field. Okay, here is a magnetic field of strength B naught and a current carrying coil of width and side both are A. That means it is a square current carrying coil carrying current in clockwise direction. So find the work done by taking out the current carrying coil from the magnetic field. So initially it is inside the magnetic field. We have to calculate the work done by taking out the coil from this magnetic field. So what will be the expression for the work done? So how to find out the work done? So as we already discussed, the amount of work done equal to I into flux linked to the coil phi initially minus flux linked to the coil finally. Clear? This is the expression for work done we already discussed right now. So here the flux linked with the coil initial condition, that means when it is placed within the magnetic field is how much? The phi initial equal to the current magnetic field B naught into the cross sectional area. What is the cross sectional area? As side and width are A, cross sectional area will be A square. And what is the value of cos theta? Here theta is area vector and magnetic field. So our magnetic field are into the plane. So we can take the area vector along outward or inward if we are considering the area vector in along the direction of magnetic field. So it will be how much? 0. So the cos 0. So this implies BA cos theta, it will be B naught A square. And what is phi final? As we have to take out of this coil from the magnetic field, so phi final will be 0 because B will become 0 when it comes out of the magnetic field. So phi final will be 0. So this implies what is work done? Work done equal to I into phi initial, that means B naught A square minus 0. So this implies work done will be I B naught A square joule or Newton, whatever be the unit given over here. Clear? So this is the amount of work done by removing this coil from the magnetic field. Okay. Here is a current carrying, infinite long straight current carrying conductor. Next example, which carries current I. Okay, and at a distance A, there is a square current carrying loop of length and width L. Clear? Which carries current I in this direction. This is I1, this is I2. Clear? Here is a infinite long straight current carrying conductor carrying current I1 in upward direction, and there is a current carrying square loop of length and width L carrying current I2 in clockwise direction at a distance A from the current carrying loop. Clear? Now we have to find the potential energy stored in the current carrying coil. Okay, so what is the expression for how to calculate it? What is the expression for potential energy? We know potential energy equal to minus mb cos theta, or this can be also written as PE equal to minus I into phi. What is phi? The magnetic flux linked with this coil into the current flowing through it. Clear? So here the current flowing through this I2, we have to find out the magnetic flux linked with this current carrying loop. So what is for phi? We can write phi equal to how much? B A cos theta. What is B? B is due to the external current carrying conductor here, but here the magnetic field B is varying from place to place. So first of all we have to calculate the B, and B is here for the infinite long straight current carrying into the plane. So here B is into the plane, and what is area vector? If I am considering the direction of current, area vector is also A. So A is also into the plane. So theta will be 0. Clear? This is magnetic field strength, this is area vector, both are here into the plane, so theta will be 0. But we have to calculate B here first. So for calculation of B, let's consider a small segment of width dx. Okay, which is at a perpendicular distance x from this long straight current carrying conductor. So at this place, for this strip, the magnetic field strength at each and every point on this strip will be same as the perpendicular distance for each point will be x. So for this portion, the magnetic field strength dB at x can be written as this is a infinite long straight current carrying conductor, it will be mu naught current flowing through it is I1 divided by 2 pi into perpendicular distance x. Clear? This is the magnetic field strength at this portion. And what is the flux linked with this portion of with dx? This is dbx. We have to calculate the d phi flux linked with this small portion. So d phi will be how much? dbx, the magnetic field strength at this portion, dbx into area of this segment, that is dx into a. This is the small amount of flux linked with this segment. So now we have to calculate the total flux linked with this complete segment. So this implies integrating it d phi from 0 to phi will be, in place of dbx I can write mu naught I1 divided by 2 pi x, in place of dx into a, this is a into dx area, b into a will be the flux linked with this much portion. I have to calculate the net flux linked with this coil. So by integrating this from, what is the value of x? X varies from a to a plus, it will be L, dx into L. L is the length and width, so this will be L. Varies from, so dx, x is varies from a to a plus L, a to a plus L. Clear? So this implies phi equal to mu naught I1 divided by 2 pi, taking a out of the a and L out of the integration, it will be a to a plus L dx by x. So this implies the flux linked with phi will be how much? Mu naught I1 AL divided by 2 pi into ln 1 by x dx, ln x a plus L minus ln a, so ln a plus L by a. This will be the flux linked with this current carrying loop. So what will be the expression for potential energy? So this implies potential energy equal to minus I2 into the flux, that is mu naught I1 AL divided by 2 pi into ln a plus L by a. So this is the expression for potential energy linked with this current carrying loop present over here. Clear? Okay. So for potential energy I have to calculate I into phi. I is the current flowing through the loop and phi is the flux linked with that loop at that position. So here the flux linked with flux equal to BA cos theta. Theta is 0 because B is into the plane, and along the direction of current I am calling my figure, the area will be also into the plane. So as the magnetic field strength varies from place to place, we have to calculate the magnetic field strength for a small portion and the flux linked with that portion due to that magnetic field. That will be this much. And now we have to integrate for the complete flux linked with this loop, and the net flux will be this much. So phi into minus I will give us the potential energy attached with it. Clear? So now let us consider another example. Here is a current carrying loop, infinite current carrying conductor. Okay, and at a distance A, again there is a current carrying square loop. Okay, of length L, width L and length L, carrying current along this direction. I2, here the current is I1. So now we have to find out the work done if I am rotating this coil about this axis along this direction. I am rotating this coil about this axis in anticlockwise by theta equal to pi. Clear? Okay. So find out, let the naming will be like this: P, Q, S, T. If the current carrying loop is rotated by an angle theta equal to pi about the side SQ in anticlockwise. Sense, then find the work done by doing so. Okay, clear? So you have to find out the work done by rotating this current carrying loop by 180 degree in anticlockwise sense about this axis, which is passing through the side S and Q. So initially the coil is at this place and we have to place this coil. Final position of the coil will be like this. Clear? This will be T dash and P dash. It will be rotated by 180 degree about this side SQ. So what will be the work done by doing so? So as we know, what will be the expression for work done by current carrying loop present in an external magnet? It will be I into phi initial minus phi final. Current flowing through the coil into the initial flux linked with the coil minus final flux linked with the coil. So in this situation, this is the place of the coil initially. So at this place we have to calculate the flux linked with the coil, and finally the coil will be placed over here. So we have to calculate the flux linked with the coil at this place, that will be the final flux. Then we have to use this formula. So our aim is to find out the flux linked with this coil at this position. So previously we already discussed how to calculate the flux linked with this coil at this position. So similarly we have to consider a small segment of with dx at a distance x. So now we have to find out the magnetic field strength linked with it. So now how to find out this? So at a distance x we have to consider a strip. So for this, the magnetic field strength dB at x will be how much? This is an infinite long straight current carrying conductor, so mu naught I1 divided by 2 pi x will be the magnetic field strength at x, and the area will be L into dx. Clear? So now we have to find out, this will be the d phi, where this will be dbx into length into weight. This will be the flux linked over this small strip. So we have to find out the initial flux from x equal to a plus L. So phi initial will be d phi integration from 0 to phi initial, that is mu naught I1 divided by 2 pi here L dx by x, that is limit varies from a to a plus L. So what is phi initial? It will be mu naught I1 L divided by 2 pi, 1 by x will be ln x, limit from a to a plus L. So this will become mu naught I1 L divided by 2 pi into ln a plus L by a. This will be the expression for phi initial. Clear? As we already discussed about it in the previous question. This will be the net flux linked with the coil initially. We have to calculate the magnetic field at any position, because here the magnetic field strength is varying. So at any distance x, the magnetic field strength will be this much, and the flux linked with that portion will be the magnetic field strength into area, length into weight, and the cos theta will be 0. So cos 0 will be 1. So phi initial will be this much. Similarly, what is the expression for phi final? So for phi final, what is phi final? This is the expression for any distance x. So for phi final, that means the flux linked with the coil from this position to this position, q to p dash. So at any place x, this is the expression for flux. Clear? So now we have to calculate the net flux linked with this coil within this position. So the limit of x will vary from here. X will vary from a plus L to a plus 2L. Clear? Here the x, the distance x is varies from this length, that is a plus L, to this length, that is a plus 2L. So d phi will be integration of d phi from 0 to phi final. This will be d phi, which is equal to mu naught I1 by 2 pi x L into dx. Limit, here only the limit will change. Here the limit from a to a plus L, and here the limit will be a plus L from this position to this position, from a plus L to a plus 2L. So what will be the expression for phi final? It will be mu naught I1 L divided by 2 pi into integration of 1 by x dx, a plus L to a plus 2L. So this implies phi final is equal to mu naught I1 L divided by 2 pi into ln 1 by x dx. Integration is ln x, ln a plus 2L divided by a plus L. So this will be the expression for phi final. This is the expression for phi initial 1 and 2. Using 1 and 2 in here, this equation, we will get what? The amount of work done by rotating this coil. So what will be the expression for work done? So here the expression for work done, W is equal to I into phi initial is equal to mu naught I1 L divided by 2 pi ln a plus L by a minus phi final mu naught I1 L divided by 2 pi ln a plus 2L divided by a plus L. Clear? This will be the expression for the amount of work done by rotating this coil from this place to this place. Clear? Understand? So for work done in case of moving a current carrying loop in an external magnetic field or rotating will be how much? The I into initial flux linked with the coil minus final flux linked with the coil. Clear? So now let's do another example. Here is a current carrying circular coil. Okay, of radius r. Carrying current in this direction I, and a magnetic field is into the plane. Okay, clear? B naught. If the coil is rotated about this axis by omega, if we rotate the coil about this axis by omega, if the coil is slightly rotated about the axis, let this will be xy, find the time period of oscillation of the coil. Okay, so here is a current carrying coil which carries current I in this direction, that is clockwise, placed in an external magnetic field which is acting perpendicular to this plane of the coil and into the plane, that is B naught. So if we rotate this coil by an axis which is passing through its plane along its center, so find out the time period of oscillation. What will be the time period of oscillation if we disturb this coil slightly? Clear? As in this case the current is along this direction, so the magnetic dipole moment of this coil will be crawling the finger along this direction is into the plane, M vector is into the plane, and the external magnetic B naught is also into the plane. So the coil is in stable equilibrium state. So if we displace this coil from its initial position by a certain amount in anti-clockwise sense, like this, if I am rotating the coil in certain amount by anti-clockwise sense, then it will get disturbed from its initial position. That's why it want to regain its initial position, and due to regain it will start oscillating. Clear? So what will be the time period here? So as here M vector and B vector are in parallel to each other, as B vector is into the plane, that means B vector is into the plane, and I am crawling my finger along the direction of current, the thumb is also into the plane, so M vector is also into the plane. So the coil is in stable equilibrium. Clear? So as this is in stable equilibrium, if we disturb this coil from its initial position slightly, then initially the direction of magnetic field is along direction and the dipole moment is also along this direction. They both are parallel to each other. If I rotating the coil like this, the dipole moment is always perpendicular to its plane. If I am rotating the coil anti-clockwise slightly, so I am rotating the coil like this, so the dipole moment will turn like this. So now this is the direction of magnetic dipole moment and this is the direction of magnetic field. So what will be the torque? Torque equal to M cross B. So I am crawling my finger along this direction. This is M. Initially these two are along this direction. Okay. The magnetic field is into the plane like this and the dipole moment is into the plane like this. Both are parallel to each other like this. Now I am rotating the coil about this axis slightly in anti-clockwise direction by d theta or theta, any angle theta. So it will this is remain constant, the magnetic field strength, but now as the coil rotates theta, the dipole moment is also rotating by an angle theta. So now they will experience a torque, and what is the direction of torque? That is M cross B. So M is along this direction, B is along this direction, so M cross B, M cross B. The torque will be acting downward and it tries to regain its initial position, and due to inertia it will again come along this direction, so it will start oscillating like this. Clear? So what will be the time period of oscillation? So as by rotating this a small angle theta, what will be the torque? Tau equal to mv sin theta. Clear? So from this we will get, so this implies tau equal to, what is M? Value of magnetic dipole moment of this current carrying coil of radius r. It will be the current flowing through this coil, that is I into area of the coil, pi r square into sin theta. So this implies you will get tau equal to I into pi r square. For very small angle theta, the sin theta can be written as theta, and as shown here both are in parallel to each other, and I am rotating the coil in anticlockwise, so the direction of theta, angular displacement, is anticlockwise, that means like this, upward, but the torque which is acting on this coil is want to restore its initial position, which is in opposite direction, downward. So the theta and force mv both are in opposite direction, so it will be minus symbol here. So from this we will get, so this implies F equal to minus k into theta, where this is the torsional constant or k. So this implies the time period is given as 2 pi under root m by k in place of linear oscillation, but this is an angular oscillation. In place of m it will be how much? The I by k, where I equal to moment of inertia. of the coil. Clear? And this is K, as tau equal to K theta. So here tau equal to K into theta, as theta tends to 0, so sin theta equal to theta. So this can be written as this one. So I into pi r square into theta, this complete term will be how much? K, the constant, torsional constant or constant K theta. So here K will be this one, and I will be how much? The moment of inertia of the coil. So about this axis which is passing through its center of mass and along the plane, so it is about the diameter. So what is the moment of inertia of a coil or circular loop about the diameter? That is mr square by 2. So here it will be the moment of inertia, and the m equal to the moment of inertia I equal to mass of the current carrying loop into radius r square by 2. So if the current gets rotated about it, the radius is r and mass, your mass is given as m. Okay, or let it be small m. So it will be how much? Small mr square. Clear? So now putting I over here and K from this, we will get the time period of the oscillation. So this implies the time period T equal to 2 pi root over of I equal to m r square by 2 into K equal to I pi r square. So r square will get cancelled. So 2 pi root over of m divided by 2 pi I will be the time period of rotation. Clear? Clear? Understood? Sorry, here is a term I forget, that is B. So pi r square, here it will be how much? The magnetic field strength is B naught, so it will be B naught is there. Clear? So B naught over here, so it will be 2 pi r square B naught, so 2 pi I B naught. Okay? Clear? So now this is the expression for the time period of the loop with which it starts oscillating about the axis x, y. Clear? So now you can understand how to calculate the time period when a current carrying loop is in stable equilibrium and it is slightly disturbed from its position. Okay? So now let's do another example. Here is a circular disc. Okay, it's a circular disc present like this. This is the center, radius r. Okay, and it's rotated about this axis which is passing through its center O and perpendicular to its plane. This is a disc and rotated like this, omega. Clear? And mass of the disc is m and the surface charge density is sigma. Sigma is the complete charge placed over the surface of this solid non-conducting disc, and there is a, and it's rotating in anti-clockwise sense like this, and here is a magnetic field, external magnetic field, which is acting in horizontal direction. Of strength B. So now find, question is that the disc having surface charge density sigma, radius r, mass m is rotating with omega in anti-clockwise sense in an external horizontal magnetic field B. Find the torque acting on it. Okay, the disk is rotating with omega in anticlockwise sense. Mass of the disk is m, sigma is the surface charge density, and r with the radius of the disk which is rotating about the axis which is passing through its center of mass perpendicular to its plane, and in an external magnetic field which is acting horizontal of strength B. So now we have to find out the torque acting on this disk. So as we know, the torque acting on the disk is given by the formula tau equal to m b sin theta, where theta is the angle between magnetic dipole moment and the magnetic field strength. So here it is a charged disk which is rotating with angular velocity omega. So first of all, and the B is along this direction. So first of all, we have to find out the magnetic dipole moment of the disk. This is our M. If once we get M, then we can easily find out mb sin theta. So how to find out magnetic dipole moment? As this is a solid substance having mass m and surface charge density is sigma of radius r, which is rotating with omega. So what is the magnetic dipole moment? So just remind that I already told you in case of Bohr magnetron that the ratio of magnetic moment and angular momentum is equal to half q by m. Okay, here q is what? The total charge associated with a substance, m is mass of that substance, and this is the magnetic dipole moment, and this is the angular momentum of that substance about which it is rotating. So as in this case, this is a disk which has surface charge density sigma and mass m. So from this you can calculate the total charge of the disk and mass m, and this is the magnetic dipole moment we want, and about this axis what will be its angular momentum? The moment of inertia about this axis into omega. So here, so using this relation we can find out what? The magnetic moment of this disk easily. So here q equal to how much? Sigma into area of the disk. This implies q equal to sigma into pi r square. This is the total charge associated with the disk, and mass of the disk is given as m. So I here write mass, m equal to mass as given as m. So L equal to angular momentum, which is equal to I into omega. Here I is what? Moment of inertia. So what is moment of inertia of a disk about an axis passing through its center of mass and perpendicular to its plane? That is mr square. So here the moment of inertia I is equal to mr square by 2. Clear? For a ring it is mr square, and for a disk which is passing through its plane and perpendicular to its surface is mr square by 2. So now using this we will get L, and from this we will have the value of angular momentum, and then we can easily find out the magnetic dipole moment. So this implies the angular momentum L equal to I omega, which is equal to m r square by 2 into omega. So this implies m divided by L equal to half q by m will become how much? M equal to 1 by 2 q by m into L. So this implies we get the magnetic dipole moment of this disk will be 1 by 2. In place of q I can write sigma pi r square divided by m mass into angular momentum, this one m r square omega by 2. mm will get cancelled. So what will be the magnetic dipole moment? Equal to half sigma pi r4 omega. This half will be 4. 1 by 4 sigma pi r4 omega. So this will be the magnetic dipole moment. Here we will not get confused with this m and this m. This is the magnetic dipole moment and this is the mass. This is mass. This is magnetic dipole moment. Okay, so from this we will get M. So now we can calculate what? Tau, the torque acting on this. What is the direction of torque? Magnetic dipole moment is along which direction? If it is moving anti-clockwise, I am crawling my finger along this direction. So the magnetic dipole moment will be upward. So this is the direction of M, this is the direction of B. So M cross B, it will be inward. So the torque coil will rotate like this. Clear? Okay. So it will, the torque acting on it will be how much? By using the value of M over here, I can write the torque tau is equal to, in place of M, sigma pi r4 omega by 4 into B. Sin theta will be, the M will be along this direction, this is B, it is 90, so sin 90. Clear? This is the torque experienced by the disc. So will the disc will rotate about this axis? This is the axis of rotation, M cross B like this. So this will be the direction of torque into the plane. So it will rotate about this. Clear? So this is the torque acting on what? The disc. Clear? So if there is a disc of radius r which is rotating in this direction with omega, and the surface charge density is sigma and mass is m. Okay, this is a disc which is having surface charge density sigma, this is mass, and rotating in this with x, radius is r. Find the magnetic field strength at the center of the disc. So in this case, how we will find out the magnetic field strength at the center of the disc? If this is a disc of mass m which is rotating about this axis which is perpendicular to its plane with omega and having surface charge density sigma, then we have to find out the magnetic field strength at the center. As we already discussed, due to rotation of a disc, it will have a magnetic dipole moment. That means it must have a magnetic field strength. So what is the strength at its center? How we can calculate this? So we already studied that a charged particle, if revolving in an orbit or circular path, it is acting as a current carrying conductor, where the I equal to charge into frequency, or in place of frequency we can write it will be omega equal to how much? 2 pi f. So f equal to 2 pi by omega. So I equal to q into omega by 2 pi. We already discussed about it in the case of when we studied about a current, a electron moving in a circular orbit behave as a current carrying conductor, or that in case of Bohr magneton, this will be the I equal to q by t, time period will be frequency, q into f, again omega equal to 2 pi f. So f equal to omega by 2 pi, omega by 2 pi. So qf, it will be omega by 2 pi. Clear? So from this we have to calculate the I. So in this situation we have to consider as this is a disc, it is a combination of very thin circular concentric rings. So I am considering a current carrying ring at a distance x of width dx. And due to this ring of width dx, I have to calculate the magnetic field strength at the center O. This width is dx and radius is x. So what, first of all we have to calculate what is the amount of current flowing through this small circular ring of width dx. So from this I have to use this formula, I equal to q into omega by 2 pi. So what is q? Here sigma is the charge density, surface charge density. So the total charge q equal to sigma into pi r square. Clear? But I want to calculate the charge associated with this small ring. So what is the area of this ring? The radius is x. So the total length of the circumference is 2 pi x and width is dx. So area small dA will be how much? 2 pi x dx. So the small amount of charge dq equal to area into surface charge density. It will be sigma into 2 pi x dx. This is the amount of small amount of charge associated with the ring of thickness dx. So now what will be the amount of current, that is di is equal to dq into omega divided by 2 pi. So this implies the current di is equal to dq, it will be 2 pi x sigma dx into omega divided by 2 pi. Clear? This amount of current di is flowing through it along this direction. This is the direction of current di flowing through it. So as the current is flowing through it, what is the magnetic field strength at the center of this circular ring? That will be dB will be equal to, due to a circular ring it is mu naught, current flowing through it is di divided by 2 into radius x. So this implies dB equal to how much? Mu naught, in place of di we can write sigma 2 pi x dx omega divided by 2 pi into 2x. Clear? Okay, so from this 2 pi will get cancelled, x will get cancelled, so it will become dB equal to mu naught sigma omega by 2 into dx. Clear? So now total magnetic field will be 0 to B and x is varied from 0 to R. So the net magnetic field strength at the center will be equal to mu naught sigma omega by 2, dx integration will be x into R. So this will be the net magnetic field strength at the center of this charged circular disc which is rotating with omega. Clear? Okay, so this is how we can find out the torque and the magnetic moment by using the concept of Bohr magneton, where the relation between magnetic moment and the angular momentum is equal to half q by f. This is a very important relation. By using this relation we can easily find out the magnetic dipole moment of any object. Clear? So now let's discuss about another important concept and the last concept of this chapter, magnetic effects of electric current, that is magnetic pressure. So what is magnetic pressure? As we already discussed in case of, you already know that in an electrostatic chapter there is also electrostatic pressure which is equal to, the electrostatic pressure is given as the P due to electrostatic is sigma square by 2 epsilon naught. So here the magnetic pressure due to magnetic field will be B square by 2 mu naught. Clear? As in case of electrostatic pressure it is sigma square by 2 epsilon naught. Here the magnetic pressure will be B square by 2 mu naught. So how the here the electrostatic pressure is acting outward, but here the magnetic pressure is acting inward. It tries to compress the object, it tries to expand the object. Clear? So what is magnetic pressure? Just consider a hollow current carrying infinite long straight conductor. Okay, this is a hollow infinite long straight current carrying conductor which carries current into the plane. Okay, and its radius is, this is the center, radius is r, it carries current into the plane. That means at each and every portion of this point the current is moving throughout the conductor. It is a infinite long straight current carrying hollow conductor. That means the current I which is flowing through this conductor is flowing across its surface only. Clear? This radius is r, within it the current is 0 and out of it the current is 0. So just the thickness is, let the current carrying conductor is like this. Okay, it's a very small thickness and hollow. So current is flowing along this region only. Okay, this is the thickness, and the thickness over here it's dl. dl be the thickness of the current, hollow current carrying conductor in which current I is flowing into the plane, and it is an infinite current carrying conductor. And due to this infinite current carrying conductor, at any place out of the current carrying conductor, P, what is the magnetic field strength? We already discussed. Due to infinite current carrying conductor, by applying Ampere circular law, I am considering a loop. Okay, let the distance from this point be, at this point, from distance from this current carrying infinite long straight conductor be small r. So what is the magnetic field? B dot dl, close integration, will be equal to mu naught into I enclosed. I enclosed for this Amperian loop will be complete I. So this is B into dl. What is dl? The complete length of this circular Amperian loop is 2 pi r, equal to mu naught I enclosed. So this implies B equal to mu naught I by 2 pi r. This is the magnetic field strength at any point outside the current carrying conductor, and within the current carrying conductor at any place Q, B will be how much? 0, as here the I enclosed is 0. Clear? So what will happen now? We already know about this. So now just imagine 2 points of this current carrying infinite conductor of thickness dl and radius r. Here is a point P out of the surface, and here is a point Q into the surface, and just divide this current carrying conductor into 2 parts. Let this portion be x and y, and the remaining portion be x, y, z. The conductor is divided into 2 parts, xy and xzy. This is xy and this is xzy. Here there are 2 parts, and current in each portion is going through the plane perpendicularly, I amount of current. Clear? So from this we are considering 2 points. At point P, the net magnetic field strength due to this segment and this segment will be how much? At any point it will be mu naught I by 2 pi, the distance r let be smaller, and inside due to this segment and the both segment will be 0. So let it for Bxy plus Bxzy equal to how much? Mu naught I divided by 2 pi r outside of the conductor. Clear? Similarly, B due to xy plus B due to xzy. Here just imagine the current is into the plane xy, let the length of this segment will be dl. Sorry, width is dl, let the length will be dx. Clear? So if dx, the width or length, or I am considering the length about this portion into the plane, or width will be dl, this width will be negligible, not this will be dl, this length will be dl. Okay, the width is very negligible. So or current passing on the surface. So what is the current? The current is passing, I amount of current passing all over the length 2 pi r. So what will the current passing over this length dl? It will be I divided by 2 pi r into dl, that is di. So for this the magnetic field strength at over here, current is into the plane because it's passing surface wise, so into the plane, and the position is at P, so the magnetic field strength due to Bxy will be downward. By right hand palm rule, the current over here all are into the plane because the current is flowing on the surface of the infinitely long straight current carrying conductor, as this is a hollow current carrying conductor. So current is flowing on the surface into the plane. So here at each point current is into the plane. So direction of current is into the plane. The direction of position vector of the point of observation is towards this point. So the magnetic field strength at P will be downward due to xy. Similarly to xzy, current is into the plane. The position vector is here. Again, the B is along the same direction. So these two will get added up outside, which will give the net magnetic mu naught I by 2 pi r. But at Q, the current for this xy segment is into the plane. Position vector is at this point. So the magnetic field at Q will be for xy segment is outward, but for xzy it will be downward. So these two are in opposite direction. So at Q, the magnetic field strength is outward for B of xy and it is downward for B of xzy. But here both are along same direction, that is B of xy plus B of xzy. So they will added up to this one. But inside, the field due to xy is outward and field due to xzy is downward. So they will opposite direction. So B of xy minus B of xzy is totally 0 because the field strength inside is 0. That will be equation 2. This is equation 1. So from 1 and 2 we will get this implies B of xy equal to B of xzy. Clear? So B of xy equal to B of xzy. So this implies like 2 into B of xy equal to how much? Mu naught I by 2 pi r. So B of xy will be how much? Mu naught I by 4 pi r. Clear? So mu naught I by 4 pi r is B of xy at this point due to only this segment. Okay, so now we have to calculate the pressure at this point. As we already know, this is a length in which current is flowing into the plane parallel to each other, and we know when there is a two current carrying conductors carrying current in parallel direction, they will attract each other with a force. So for this segment, the current is flowing into the plane, so they will attract with each other with a force, and that force is usually how much? Mu naught I1 I2 by 2 pi d. Clear? So here this is the magnet range and this is the field due to these two forces. So now what will be the force acting on this length? So now for this segment, the remaining segment x, z, y will experience a force because current flowing through these two segments are parallel to each other. So due to this current carrying segment which is carrying current into the direction, the remaining portion is also carrying current into the section or into this plane. So this remaining portion will experience a force on this segment, or it will attract this segment towards this. So it will experience a force along this direction. That force will be how much? dF. So what is the value of dF? So as this is Bxy, this will be same as that of Bxyz, Bxzy, because both are equal, so they will have this much field strength. So what will be the dF acting on this small segment of length dl? So dF force on a current carrying conductor will be how much? The magnetic field strength at this point into length of this current carrying conductor into current flowing through this. So dF equal to I, that is di, the amount of current flowing this small segment, into length, if this is the length, is dl, into the what? The magnetic field present over here due to this remaining portion B of xz y. So this will be, what is the di? Di will be the total amount of current divided by total length, that is 2 pi r into, let it be, length will be L. Length means the total length which is into the plane, that is L, and di will be into dl, or sorry, here it will be dl, so this is dl into L. L is the length that is into the plane. the current carrying conductors are like this into the plane. So I am calculating the force for a current carrying conductor which are into the plane. This is the width of the current carrying conductor and is placed into the plane, and this is the length. And B of xyz is how much? Mu naught I by 4 pi r. Clear? This is df. What is dl into L? dl is this width and L is the length into the plane. Clear? I am considering the current carrying conductor of this segment as a current carrying conductor which have width dl and a length into the plane is L, and the xzy is another current carrying conductor because current is flowing through each and every point is parallel and into the plane. So the complete current carrying circular current carrying conductor is divided into two segments, xy and xzy. So xy is a current carrying conductor of length L, which is just, this is the current carrying conductor of length L which is into the plane, and the width of this current carrying conductor is dl, and the remaining portion is a current carrying conductor which have the same length L into the plane, and the total width will be xyz, but I am calculating the force on this much segment only due to the remaining portion. So the force will be I length of the segment into magnetic field within which it is present. So at this point the magnetic field due to the remaining portion B of xzy will be this much into the current. Total current I is flowing all over the circumference. So for this much segment, what is the value of current? I by 2 pi r into dl. Clear? So here dl is the width and L is the length. So this complete will become what? The area. So df equal to how much? Mu naught I square divided by 4 pi 2 pi r square. It will be 4 pi square, sorry 8 pi square r square into area, let it be A. So dA. So dF by dA will be pressure which is equal to, it can be written as mu naught I divided by 2 pi r. Mu naught I, sorry, the mu naught I divided by 2 pi r. I am here multiplying a mu naught and dividing a mu naught. So it will be mu naught square. So mu naught I by 2 pi r whole square into 1 by 2 mu naught. Clear? I am arranging this. It will be 8 pi square r square. It will be 2 pi r taking square into mu naught I whole square into 1 by 2 mu naught. Clear? So this implies the pressure dF by A equal to mu naught I by 2 pi r, which is how much? B square divided by 2 into mu naught. So this is the magnetic force at this point which is acting inward. It always tries to compress the surface. Okay, so you have to remember this relation. This is the magnetic force which is always acting inward and tries to compress the phase. And from this we can calculate the magnetic energy. As in case of electrostatic, already electric energy half epsilon naught E square. So from this we will calculate the magnetic energy. Clear? So this is all about magnetic effects of electric current. Hope you all understand. Next we will discuss about electromagnetic induction. Okay, thank you.